ability, but more than just that, connecting people of all abilities. My name's Ian Campbell, I'm your MC for today's launch. Can I acknowledge the traditional owners and custodians of the lands on which we all gather today and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. And a special shout out to the people of the Yuin Nation, the birthplace of Disability Club. Today, on the International Day of People with Disabilities, you'll hear from a Paralympian, a couple of daredevils, sponsors and supporters of Disability Club, and the man behind this new glue in our community, Nathan Johnston. There'll also be an opportunity to ask questions and share comments at the end. And just a heads up, today's event is being recorded and will be publicly available later today. First up, let's hear from the member for Eden Monaro, Kristy McBain.
Come on.
No audio, Adrian.
Yeah, there's no audio.
Worked in the test run, didn't it?
Yeah.
Always the way. We'll go. Sorry, guys.
Fancy. Anyway, you're on mute.
Hi everyone, I'm Kristy McBain, member for Eden Monaro, and I want to say a huge congratulations to Nathan Johnston of Brogo. He launches today the Disability Club, an amazing platform which he built from the ground up. During the lockdowns of 2020 and 2021, he saw how hard it was for people with disabilities to navigate social media platforms like Twitter and Facebook. Big companies that had never thought about the accessibility of their platforms.
I don't know whether I'll be able. I've got to.
Instead of trying to make the most
Like
of
a
those
10-minute walk through
Nathan,
this. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
an amazing project that NBN Co got behind and funded so that he could see it from an idea to what it is today being launched. Now Nathan's next project is to make sure that this platform can also be made into an app so that people with disabilities from across the Bega Valley and from across the world can connect on social media platforms which are much more accessible and allow them to utilise a range of different services to connect with each other and also to connect with providers. Well done, Nathan. We're all proud of your efforts and I look forward to that app being available on an app store soon.
Here, we all look forward to that day as well, Kristy. Thank you for sharing your thoughts and support for Nathan and the Disability Club. Kristy McBain, the member for Eden Monaro. The idea behind Disability Club really gathered momentum when founder Nathan Johnston won a grant through NBN's Innovate program. To tell us more, we welcome Luke Williams, Head of Segment Business with NBN.
Thanks, Ian, and yeah, very proud to be part of today's launch, and thank you to Nathan for having us. There's a number of the NBN crew here today. Firstly, just want to congratulate Nathan on getting to this amazing milestone. Like Ian said, we first met Nathan when he submitted an application for our Innovate with NBN program. That program is in place, and it was the inaugural program to identify and highlight small businesses doing amazing things in regional and remote Australia. And Nathan's application really shone through in the arts category, being crowned the national winner in our arts category for Innovate with NBN 2020. His application, absolutely inspiring, but really shone through his determination to address a problem that he saw within connecting people with a disability, and the creation of DME3, now to Disability Club. It was an amazing and inspiring application, and you know, it was a unanimous decision in that category amongst quite a well represented judging panel of regional identities. We're really proud to work with Nathan. We are also a corporate member and very proud to be part of that. Watching over the past few months the amount of work and effort that Nathan's put in to this amazing idea has just been absolutely inspiring to all of us. We at NBN look forward to now watching and working closely with Nathan on his journey as we see Disability Club grow, and such proud to be a partner with you, Nathan. So congratulations. Nathan also shared his insights with many applicants this year in our 2021 Innovate with NBN program, and I can tell you inspired a number of people to submit applications. So we look forward to working closely with you. Thank you for the opportunity, and congratulations from everybody at NBN.
Great words, Luke. Thanks so much. I know many people who are part of today's launch are from the Bega Valley and have a strong connection and relationship, and indeed take inspiration from Nathan and his work. And it's great that he's been able to go bigger than the Bega Valley through you and your team at NBN. So thank you so much for being here today and supporting Nathan and taking him to Australia and taking him to the world. Thank you. Moving on to our next speaker, Tori Pendergast. After a career spanning more than a decade, dual Winter Olympian Tori Pendergast retired from elite sport in July last year. Tori paved the way as Australia's first ever female sit skier to compete at the Winter Paralympics when she debuted in Sochi in 2014. A mighty effort that put the world on notice, with top 10 finishes in both her events, the women's slalom sitting and the women's giant slalom sitting. Returning to Paralympic competition in 2018, Tori exceeded all expectations when she raced to 4th place in the women's downhill sitting, missing out on a podium spot by just seconds. Tori's stellar career also includes 2 silver and 2 bronze World Cup medals. Always striving to achieve and do better and supporting our next Paralympic team, Tori joins us today. Welcome, Tori.
Thanks for the lovely introduction, Ian. You might be better off doing this speaking and introducing myself with that stellar intro there. Good. Well, delighted to be here, everyone. Such an exciting occasion. Congratulations, Nathan, for all the work that you've achieved. Really think it's going to resonate within the community. To tell you guys, I guess, a bit about me, about my story. I actually grew up on the Central Coast, so don't know if anyone kind of knows that area around Gosford. Some people refer it to as God's country because it's so beautiful there, which is very much like a long way from the snow. And I think when I grew up, so I grew up there, went to school in primary school, and the one thing I'm really thankful for is just having a really solid group of family and friends who, I guess, one thing that they've always instilled in me since I was young is to really give anything a go. If something doesn't work, just pick yourself up and then try again. You know, the worst can happen is you don't really succeed, but it's always worth a try. After kind of completing primary school in Central Coast, I actually completed my high school in Sydney, so at Loreto Normanhurst. Don't know if anyone knows that area as well. And it's there I kind of dabbled into sports, but summer sports really weren't my jam. I tried swimming, tried athletics for a little bit, and none of them stuck. I don't know what it was. It just didn't give me that thrill, I guess. And then it wasn't until my older sister went on the first ski trip with the school that she saw people in sit skis for the first time, people in wheelchairs getting out and about. And that was a real game changer for our family, because I think one of the things that people with a disability do struggle with is just finding like a family outdoor activity, because we're faced with a couple of barriers when it comes to, I guess, like accessibility and finding the right way to get out there. So we were stoked to see that we got the help from Disabled Winter Sports Australia, who see Joe and Nathan, I know, has been in a sit ski, which is awesome. So they helped me get out on snow. And we were going, I guess, to the snow a couple of weeks out of the year with the family. And I was actually stand-up skiing with outriggers first. So for those who don't know what outriggers, they're essentially crutches, I guess, with skis on the end to help you balance. You're not supposed to put all your weight on there or else you will absolutely fall over. But there is a guide, I guess, an extra bit of support. So I was skiing a couple of weeks a year out of my family right into like high school. Kind of started in year 10, And then I got talent spotted by the New South Wales coordinator at the time, and he said, "Oh, you could be a great racer." And I had no idea what para-alpine racing was at the time. Didn't really know about parasport in general, especially winter. So that's when I kind of was first introduced to a sit ski. And for those who don't know what a sit ski is, it's essentially a seat that a motorbike shock attaches to, and then that attaches to one ski. And then you use your, I guess, your upper body strength and your core muscles to navigate your way down the hill. That's probably the best explanation that I've got. So they're like, listen, you can compete, but you can jump in this sit ski. And I was like, what in the world is this contraption? It looks terrifying, but I jumped in, gave it a go. And then after skiing in it for about 3 weeks, I went overseas to Vail for my first development camp, where, you know, at that time as well, I was starting university at UTS, studying a Bachelor of Business in Marketing. And then, yeah, it was, I think, a month in, I was training with like Michael Milton, a couple of other development coaches, and I learned a very important lesson for sit skiers, which is don't try moguls. It never works. For those guys who don't know what moguls are, they're just like little bumps on a hill, and there's a lot of little bumps. And I can tell you they're not sit ski friendly. Yeah. My thumb certainly found that out, where I broke it after skiing for the first 4 weeks and had to come back to Australia. So in 2011, I kind of recovered Gold Core, being like, "Are you still keen?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course." It was a bunch of fun. And at that point in my career, I went to my first race in New Zealand, and was a bit of a learning curve. I learned essentially what not to do while you're racing. Deep breath, stay calm, don't crash out on your runs, really important things like that. So bit of a learning experience. And then the next 3 years, I went to a lot of races in North America, Europe. I kept on improving, getting better. And then 2 years later, so I think I was sit skiing for 3 years at that point, I got my first World Cup medal in Australia and New Zealand, which qualified me for the 2014 Sochi Paralympic Games in Russia. So that was totally unexpected, huge moment. And that's, where I got the blessed title of the first female sit skier for Australia, which was really exciting at the time. After that, I kind of did a bit of balancing my marketing automation tech career. So I worked on and off, trying to snip in bits of work where I could, and then also trained and competed in multiple World Cups over in Europe, America, Asia, and World Championships as well. It was then in 2018 that I qualified for the Winter Games in Pyeongchang, where Ian so elegantly gave me quite a pump up at the beginning. I got a 4th, very close, but really happy. I guess I was super stoked with how I was skiing at the time, knowing that, you know, a couple of weeks back I'd won races and came away with a couple of World Cup podiums. So was pretty happy, but you know, it's the nature of the game with skiing. So many unexpected things crop up. So all you can do is try your best and then see how it goes. After I competed for a year and then kind of felt it was right to retire, and now work, I guess, full time, doing marketing automation for a university, all that kind of techie stuff. So I understand what Nathan's doing here. I do think one of the real things that like skiing and my journey into parasport and all that kind of stuff taught me is just how resilient, I guess, we are as people with, I guess, facing so many challenges later down on the road. And, you know, it's surprising to see kind of that strength that you have in you. It's something you don't expect, and it's something that skiing taught me. And I think one thing which Nathan's platform is massively going to help on is the ability to connect different people of like all walks of life together and share their experiences and share their stories. Because when I first came onto the para-alpine circuit, I was blown away at the different people, what challenges they were, impairments, and as well, I guess, you know, they could understand me as well, because growing up there wasn't that. I guess, you know, I went to a school where there weren't many kids with a disability, so it was hard to find someone, I guess, going through a similar experience to me. So Nathan, it sounds like your platform is really going to do that job in just connecting so many different people and starting those really good discussions when it comes to resilience, adversity, and really overcoming those challenges that people can work on. It's a it's about me. I'll hand it back there to you, Ian. Happy to answer any questions. But
Thanks so much, Tori. We might save questions to the very end, but thank you so much for being here today. And look, I don't know that moguls are good for anyone, able-bodied or not. Moguls just look like too much pain and hurt. But thank you so much for being here today. Your presence adds so much weight to our conversation today, and is a great example. You touching on your childhood is a great example of the motivation that drives Nathan with Disability Club and what he's hoping to achieve. Thank you for being here today and sharing your story.
no problem.
And yeah, there'll be some time for questions of Tori at the end of today's launch. Our next speaker. The Krusty Demons are a group of daredevil freestyle motorcyclists from the United States, New Zealand, Europe and Australia. Jervis Bay's Luke McNeil is one of them. Luke was 17 when he began riding for the Krusty Demons and has starred in many of their spectacular arena shows and movies, as well as being stunt double for Vin Diesel. G'day Luke, thanks so much for being here today to share your story.
G'day everyone, it's great to be here, and we're here for a great cause. I feel like the world needs a lot of love and connection at the moment, and we've been missing that. So it's awesome to be on here speaking to you all on a awesome about an awesome platform that an awesome person's behind it. So g'day, and how yous going? Yeah, so they introduced myself. I ride freestyle motocross. I do some pretty cool things, but that's not just me as a person. I want to help the world, and I feel like we've got a place in this world to make it a better place. And that's been my driving force to do what I do. You know, we might seem like we're crazy out there doing all them crazy things, but we've got reasons behind it. Well, I do, and that's to empower people, and that's to make other people believe that they can do extraordinary things. You know, Superman is real, and I've proven it, and many other people have proven it. So, you know, and I ain't the real hero, you know. The real hero are people like Nathan and my friend Chad that you will meet later on. Like, he's been my strength, he's been my inspiration, and in a lot of times, like, I just ultimately think these people are the strongest people on earth, and I really do. I just take my hat off to them, and every day I just appreciate that I can be in witness, like especially when I'm with Chad and I talk to Nathan, and I have a lot of people around me that have disabilities. You know, I've got a cousin, I've got another mate there in the corner that has he had brain surgery, so he has parts, so we do some jiu-jitsu and that together. So I have a lot of awesome people around me, and I feel like these people have such a unique, special thing about them that most people that don't go through hardship don't get. They gain that, and it's a special thing. So yeah, I've with the accomplishments that I've done, you know, there's the highs and lows about everything. One of the highs is I get to go and do a lot of work at the universities and schools and that, and give back. And that's how I met Nathan. I went down to Bega to do a talk at the university down there quite a few years ago, about 6 years ago. Myself and Nathan, we just connected, and from there on, we just kept in contact. I've seen him go from one idea about his music idea to this one, and I think it come from a concept on, like, we're talking about a social media platform, and we've had great chats that have been, you know, you blossomed. This is a flower from one of those great chats, and it has been. So yeah, I was thinking, how awesome would it be to be able to connect people and that on all levels, something that myself and him share, myself and Chad share, and all these other amazing people that I have around me with disabilities share. And that was to form a platform that we could connect people with. And Nathan's gone ahead and done it. He's a man of his word. He said, I'm going to go and do it. I'm going to make this happen. And he's gone out there and done it, man. So the great props to him, eh? Like, there's a lot of people that say they're going to do stuff that are able-bodied, and, you know, that they don't make it happen. And he's out there with his facing his difficulty things in everyday life and that, and he said he's going to do it, and he went out there and done it, and he's making it happen. So great respect to him, hey. And that just ventured out of a conversation between us. So as you know, the highs and lows of riding, we do pretty, I wouldn't say they're dangerous things. I say they're calculated risk, and I do them to get a thrill. I like the head games, and I like the receiving at the end of it, the smiles on the kids' faces, the empowerment that I can give people and the good energy that we can put out there. And that's why I like doing it. You know, we see crazy things, and I'm not like Krusty Demons is not a representation of who I am. And I'm Luke McNeil, and I'm a unique individual, and all that sort of stuff. I'm separate to all that. I just go in there, I do what I do. But for the periodically, like the whole thing, I'm me. So don't get your calls saying that I'm, you know, what I say, stereotyping. That's what I am. All that thing. I just do the shows, and I just, you know, that's just happens the parts that I fit in. So I've been lucky enough to go to Hollywood, and the great benefits in between all that, I've been lucky enough to experience being with homeless people, disability people, all the way up until the people that are up the top that we look like on TV. And the great thing that I've got out of it is that we're all the same, you know. These people that are movie actors, they need people like myself to make them look good. So they're no superheroes, and I believe that they bleed and they breathe the same. And so I've been blessed to see all that. And with the lows, I'm coming off an injury now. I've been a 2-year injury. I crashed over in China and put my tibia and fibia outside of my leg. Shattered me talus, shattered me navicular. So there's not the straightforward hospital system like we have here. I was put on a public bus, and you know, I wanted to go to Macau because I knew the Chinese hospitals weren't that good. I was losing a lot of blood. I had to be in control of the whole situation there, which, you know, when something like that happens and that help comes to you over there, you got to be the help, and you got to join the dots and save yourself, really. So I spent 7 days in traction over in China, where they closed me up, where I was bleeding out. I opted to go back to Australia. I'm cutting the story short, but yeah, there was a lot of heavy things in there. I opted to go back to and take the chance to fly back to Australia to get my leg put together, and I've been on a 2-year journey trying to get this thing. I want to run again. I want to be able to do all these things. Not only do I want to get back on my bike, because that's not going to defeat me, I'm going to run again, and I'm going to do awesome things. And them simple things are things that you're missing. So I've been on the other side where that's been taken away from me. And with this whole process, like, a whole new respect comes into people like Nathan and Chad and all these people with disabilities. A whole new respect comes from, like, I think when you go through something like that, then you gain like some insight of what they go through. Other than that, I think it's hard to fathom, and I've only just touched the surface of it. Like, oh, I'm able to walk again, I'm able to run again, and able to make that happen. But through that, like, yeah, I can't emphasize how much respect I've got for the guys. I think they're just supermen to me. I really do. And they're my driving forces. That's what they make me get up every day, and they pull me out of the dumps. So, and I'm lucky to have them sort of people. I grew up racing motocross, and when racing, myself and Chad here, we grew up racing together. We're competitors still to this day. We're competitors. Chad had an accident. I'm going to let him fill you in on that accident. But we've got this bondship that's like no other, I feel like, and we've pushed each other to things. He's helped me with my ride, and I've helped him with him striving to his goals in his sports that he does now. We've trained together. We're going to tell you some funny training stories and that, and that's all able to, you know, we've built this relationship. And I think Disability Club's going to allow these relationships to build everywhere around the world. And man, able-bodied people have a lot to learn with people with disabilities, so much to learn. And like I said, there's so much energy and so much power to do good things. If you're an able-bodied person, you're going to gain them out of disability, people with disability. And disability people are going to gain, I think. We've got so much to share with each other, and we need to bridge this gap because they're not so different to us. If anything, they've hit like another level inside their mind, I feel, and they got so much to pass on to us. So I'm going to pass on to Chad. Chad's going to fill you in a bit about him. He's over there. He's at the gym. See, this guy's at the gym. He's at the gym and he's training hard, man. Let me tell you, he's one of the hardest trainers that I've ever seen, man. He rips in. He'll be up there busting his ass.
Luke, thanks so much for sharing your story and hearing the strength and the passion that drives your work. I have no doubt that you will walk again, and we wish you well. Thank you so much for sharing your story. Let me just quickly introduce Chad before we hear from Chad and give everyone a sense of Chad's background. In January 2020, at the start of the USA Supercross season.
No, this is. I just think that's Chad Reed. This is Chad Graham, and Chad. He's yeah, Chad's different to thing. I seen it on the interview thing. I was like Chad Reed, so I was like telling him, "Oh, you're Chad Reed today."
Thanks for pulling me up, Luke. Yeah, obviously, I've got the wrong Chad. Chad Graham,
Wait,
tell us about yourself. Forgive me.
Amazing. He's more amazing than Chad Reed. Who's Chad Reed?
No
Who's Chad
doubt.
Graham?
Chad, I feel like a goose. Forgive me. Tell us a bit about you. I know all about Chad Reed if anyone's interested, but tell me more about you.
My name's Chad Graham. I'm 30 years old. I had a motocross accident when I was 16 years old, which left me a C6 quadriplegic. And yeah, so I went through all that. I spent a week in ICU on life support. I had my lungs collapse on me 3 times. Yeah, so it was a bit of a journey that at the initial stages of it all, but I got through that, and then I spent another 7 weeks in the spinal unit at Westmead. So I started off at Westmead, and then I went to Royal North Shore. So then from that, once I got through that process and I was healthy enough, I was able to leave and go to the spinal rehab center at Ryde. And I spent 10 months there just working my butt off and trying to get to a level that I was able to learn independence and all that type of stuff. So then I was able to head home. And then after that, it was another life-changing experience, just adapting to being at home, going back to school, all that type of stuff, just learning everything again, being out and about within the community, learning where you can't go in the community that aren't disability accessible, which was another leap within itself, because you think you can go places and they're not accessible, and just certain things like that. So that was a really big learning curve, and it's really good to see that people have adapted to that type of thing. Like it's come along. The acceptance of people with disabilities has come a really long way within the past few years. Like my school wasn't even accessible when I went back there, and now they've had a bunch of kids with disabilities go back in there, back to the school, and it's been probably changing for them because it's been a transition for them to go down. So it's been a positive transition. Then from that, I started doing a bunch of other things. Like I've driven my buggy across Australia, my off-road buggy across Australia from Kalgoorlie to Cobar in New South Wales as a charity event that I did. And see how far I could go. So I spent 3 weeks doing that a couple of years ago. And I've just been, over the past few years as well, I've started playing wheelchair rugby. And I've been able to travel all around Australia playing that. And I've been honoured to be able to play wheelchair rugby for my state and also for Australia as well. So obviously my goal with that is to be able to go down the track to the Paralympics and play wheelchair rugby for Australia and see where the future takes me. And I've been lucky enough to have Luke as a really good friend and someone that is there for me, through the tough times and also through the good times as well. We have a really, really strong connection, where he's put me in the gym and put me through hell, but it's also been really fun challenging myself.
Hey, tell him what happens when you don't do a set in the gym when you're with me.
He leaves me there hanging until I do it. But
I believe he's got more.
Yeah, so he reckons I've got more when I probably don't. But no, he pushes me really hard, and I'm really thankful for that. I definitely it's funny how we connected. Like we've obviously raced together when we were younger, and we had a rivalry. When it's on track, we each other, and we both want to win. And I guess we both use that mentality now to be able to get to where we are. And I've also been lucky enough to, the other thing is to try and find somewhere to train. It took me a long time to be able to find somewhere, and I've been lucky enough to find an old school friend that I've been able to use his gym, and he's my PT. So he, helps me do everything that I need. He adapts me to the things I need, and so I'm really thankful for that. And because that's another thing, is trying to find a gym that allows people with disabilities, because you go to a normal gym and sometimes they're accessible, but everything's just so crammed in. And I'm at the gym now in a CrossFit gym, and it's very open. My PT's happy to adapt things to me. So I've competed in the CrossFit Open, the adaptive section. So that was really good for me, and I had really fun, a lot of fun doing that. I'm going to keep doing it, and also progressing to for my sport in wheelchair rugby that I love playing as well.
You do a team event, you do a team thing with Paul too, eh? Where there's an able body and a disability body.
Yeah, so my trainer actually came up with the idea to do a team sessions. So we'll come up with a workout and we both do it together. It's really, really fun. We both push each other, and when we don't think we've got any more, we just keep pushing and motivating each other, and it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy doing that with him, and I feel like that we should be doing that a lot more. People should have the opportunity to do that. So I just feel like it should be a more accepted thing to be able to be amongst that, the able bodies in the gym, and not be looked at a little bit different just because we're in a disability. We've got a disability, and we're in a gym, a bunch of people that aren't disabled. And it's I'm very grateful to be able to have my trainer Paul be happy to help me out with anything I need. And it's been a long journey, but it's been a really fun one as well. We dealing with the struggles of it and fighting, and it obviously has its tough times, but I would say the good times outweigh the bad times 100%, especially with my good buddy Luke on the other side there.
I know him. I keep him on his toes.
Yes, you do. And also well done to Nathan as well for doing this as well. It's going to change a lot of opportunities that people have, getting amongst other people in society as well. So good on you, man, and I'm grateful to be here as well, and thank you to you all.
Thanks so much, Chad. I'm so glad you are here, and thanks for letting us into the friendship that you and Luke have, and equally you, Luke. It's a powerful friendship you guys have got, and reminds us of the power of community. And what I also took from your words, Chad, is the importance of accessibility, both in terms of our community spaces, our commercial spaces, and technology as well. And I know that accessibility and making technology accessible is a key driver of Disability Club. So thank you for sharing your story today.
No worries at all. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having us. We appreciate being on here.
Good on you guys. Thank you. Moving on, we'll hear from the man himself, the man of the moment in just a tick. The Picture Showman Cinema in Merimbula has been a part of the Bega Valley's lifeblood for as long as anyone can remember, a link to the wider world beyond the region's sapphire waters. Independently owned and managed by Jesse Tankard, Jesse understands the importance of supporting the local community, including fellas like Nathan Johnson and Disability Club. Thanks so much for your support today, Jesse, and great to see you here.
No, absolute pleasure to be invited here. And I'd like to thank Nathan for inviting me to speak today at the launch of Disability Club. As you said, my name's Jesse Tankard and I run the cinema here in Merimbula. It's just a small twin cinema here, and I've run it since about the end of 2017. And it's something that I absolutely love. I've worked there since I was 18, so I'd actually been working there for about 10 years before I took it over, had that opportunity. And that's also the first time when sort of Nathan approached me. And at the time, he was involved with DME3, and we were sort of discussing how we can help each other, promoting each other on these platforms and all of that. From then on out, like with the cinema, I suppose it's been a bit of a rocky ride with all the COVID stuff that's gone on. And also down here, we also had all the fires, obviously, to kind of get things kick-started before COVID. But, you know, things are starting to kind of move on from that now, which is really good. We've got some big releases coming back, so it's great to be back at the cinema, and James Bond and all of those. But look, it's been an absolute wonderful journey with Nathan. He's a regular at the cinema, and we often, you know, discuss ideas with each other, bounce them off one another as to how we can develop our businesses and how we can better them. And look, that's why I'm just so excited for him today at the launch of Disability Club, as it's a combination of all of Nathan's long hours of work and perseverance. So it's just wonderful to see it all come together today for him. And yeah, he was giving me some calls over, you know, when COVID was sort of happening, and he had this idea for Disability Club as a way of connecting everybody, you know, being totally inclusive, which was just fantastic. And, you know, being on the website and having a look at some of its features, it's wonderful, you know, because you've got the accessibility menu that allows you to have a dyslexic friendly font or magnify the text, or even a way that it can read out the text to you, you know. So I just love the inclusivity of it. And that's something that we try and do at the cinema as well. You know, I have easy access equipment, so subtitle readers, headphones to help you hear if you're a bit hearing impaired, also audio descriptive, so if you're sight impaired you can still know what's happening on the screen at that time. So it is something that's in my mindset as well. And that being said, I'm really excited to kind of get onto this platform and hopefully have it as a way to communicate with all of my patrons and customer base, because it will reach everyone, you know. And we do have groups, you know, with disabilities coming into the cinema, and this will be a great way to be able to communicate with them as well. And that's just what I love about Nathan's idea for Disability Club today. And I'm just really excited to see, you know, where it's going to go in the future as well, because it continues to grow. Nathan calls me, has new ideas, and I'm just so excited for him. And, you know, congratulations, Nathan. Well done. And I can't wait to see what the future holds.
Nicely said, Jesse. Thank you so much for your time today. And yeah, really interesting and inspiring to hear how you're incorporating those values of accessibility and inclusion into your business and reaping the rewards. Thank you so much for being here. And yeah, we wish you well for the summer. You've done the hard yards in terms of bushfires and COVID, and we're all really hoping for a cracking summer for you. So thank you.
Fingers crossed for the whole area down here.
Let's hope so. Thanks, Jesse. Jesse Tankard from the Picture Showman Cinema at Merimbula. Right, the man of the moment. Now to the power and the passion behind Disability Club, a man whose ambitions and drive know no boundaries, Nathan Johnston. Nathan was born with cerebral palsy and lives at Brogo, northwest of Bega, with his dad and brother. Music has always been an important part of Nathan's life, enjoying it, but also creating it through his laptop. After graduating high school, he was ready to release his work online, but wanted to be independent and free of the big corporate music streaming players. And DME3 was born, which turns 3 today, actually. Through DME3, Nathan has created an online home for independent artists and a place where listeners can discover, enjoy and share, and the artists can remain independent and in control. Understanding the power of connection and community when it's mixed with technology on the back of his DME3 experience, Nathan has taken his advocacy and entrepreneurial spirit to a brand new level, one we gather to celebrate today. The founder of Disability Club, Nathan Johnston. Woo! Over to you, mate.
Hi everyone, thank you for being here today. Really appreciate seeing all the numbers who could make it. I would especially like to thank the team at NBN Co. I really appreciate winning the NBN Grant Award. It's sort of enabled us to scale up Disability Club from an idea to launching today. It's very exciting. In the future, we got a number of features that will come available as we grow and get bigger. As Christy McBain said, we're planning to implement an app in the near future. And basically, I can't wait to see what happens. Oh yeah, and today, since all the stories have been released, we've got 101 members officially from last night. It's doubled. And yeah, it's great to see the lights on the platform. People are actually using it now. So it's great to see all this unfold as it's happening in real time. And I would like to say a big thank you to all my sponsors, including NBN Co. and Bendigo Bank, Club Sapphire, and the Club's Grant of New South Wales. Without all our sponsors, including Jesse Tinkard, none of this would be a reality as we see it today. And I would like to say with question time begins now.
Good on you, Nathan. Must feel good to get to this point to launch Disability Club after all your hard work. Well done and enjoy the moment. And yeah, let's open the floor up to questions. If anyone has any questions or comments to make, I'd just ask you to pop your hands up and perhaps go to the little icon up the top to raise your hand if you've got a question for Nathan or a comment to make, or indeed a question for one of our other speakers today, Luke, Chad or Tori or indeed Jesse and the NBN team as well. So if you've got a question, please just raise your hand, turn your microphone on and I'll come to you. Jesse, I'm sorry, Nathan, if I can perhaps jump in with the first question to get us going. Tell us a bit more about the accessibility features of the Disability Club platform. Jesse touched on it, but can you tell us a bit more about the accessibility features that are really going to help people with a range of disabilities?
Basically, it's got accessibility panel with all these accessibility options. The first one, as Jesse touched on, it's got a screen reader, and then in large font, it's got where you can even change the color contrast for envision people with a disability, and it's got, you can even enlarge the mouse cursor, you can enlarge the text. So basically that program allows the individual user to set it up the way they want to use it and interact on the platform.
And mate, what I've learned from you is that those sort of features just aren't available now through some of those more mainstream and widely known social media platforms. You've created something unique for the disability community here.
I have, and just before I forget, it's even got tooltips. When you activate that on and hover over a menu that's not readable, if you can read, it actually gives you a little hint to what it is.
If anyone's got a question, please just raise your hand and I'll come to you. Luke, did you still have a question? Luke McNeil, did you have a question or something you want to say?
I did, but you just covered a wide range of it. But where do you drive from? Where does Nathan get his drive from? Because he's always happy. He's always out there having a go, man. And he's made this happen pretty quick.
Yeah, well, since lockdown, I've just been doing heaps of courses through my work, and so basically I just put my head down, done all this training, and with all that training, it's led to this.
I've got some awesome ideas for you that I'll call you about later. That when I was just thinking, man, my head's just going, pretty creative mind here, and that I'll pass them on here. I'll let you know about them. But I think there's big things for the future of this, and even with you could touch into the other social medias and attach these onto them and have them by itself, but so the disability can access these other ones and have their own one. So the possibilities are endless, and I think you hit the nail on the head for everyone. Yeah. Does it have a voice? Does it have a voice call part on there where voice and it writes it for you?
Not yet.
Yeah.
That's going to take a bit more investigation.
Good on you, Luke. Thanks so much.
Cheers, mate.
Sorry, I've just realised it's there.
I might just give a shout out to Denise Redmond and the team at Nardi House. Great to have them on board today. But if you could please mute your microphone, that would be cute. And it looks like Sam Avatea from the University of Wollongong has got a question. Great to see you part of our meeting today, Sam.
Great to see Nathan. Hey Nathan, congratulations.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. It was a bit like Luke, I started to think of lots of ideas, and I was wondering if you had thought of maybe consulting to other companies, because the disability accessibility features that you've put on your website, we would like to have on ours, and they're hard to do. So, that might be the next branch of your business. Let's talk later.
No worries. I can let you know how that all works.
Yeah, that would be great. I think that lots of people would be interested in having some of those features on their website, and that might be a new branch of your business. But congratulations, well done.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thanks, Sam. Hey, Nathan, Sam touches on I guess, another driver for you behind this, and that's to, I guess, create employment for yourself, create a future for yourself and drive an income out of this. That's important to you as well out of Disability Club, and a great example to everyone.
Yes, that is the main goal, to make money, to make it better, and not only that, make the platform better for all the users, and basically do things in my personal life which I'm gonna have to start thinking about as I get older. Yeah, so this platform will hopefully set me up for the future.
Nathan, how can the people gathered here today to support you, how can we support you? What do you need us to do? What can we go away from today's launch wanting to do to help you succeed and help Disability Club succeed? How can we help you?
There's three things you can do. The first one, if you haven't already, please sign up to Disability Club. Luke, would you mind putting Disability Club's link in the chat, please?
Yes, mate, sure, we'll do.
No worries. Basically, the second thing, corporations can get a corporate membership, and that's how Disability Club makes its revenue. And with a corporate membership, corporations get their own blog, they get video chat for conferencing, they get basically a job board to advertise jobs, and they can advertise their services by submitting an ad banner to the free members.
Awesome. Thanks, Nathan. And great that you're using Disability Club to help get around some of those employment challenges that people with a disability have. It's a great connection you're making, and great to highlight those employment opportunities for people with a disability that organisations might have.
Yeah.
Christy from Appy Connections has got a question or a comment to make. Christy, you know this space well. Great to see you here today.
Hi, Ian. Hi, Nathan. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Really wonderful seeing this come to life. And as a business owner that supports people with disabilities to use technology to communicate and connect with others, you've just hit the nail on the head, and it's gonna break down so many barriers for people. This platform that's so accessible, but also less cluttered, and what I feel has a lot of safety features about it, as far as being online going, and being able to expand opportunities and meet people. And I look forward to promoting it for you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hey, Christy, before you go, you've really seen the power that technology can bring to people's lives. People with a disability have a whole new world open up to them when technology is applied to it. Can you let us into that? Have we lost? I think Christy's just coming back in now. We lost her for a moment there. Christy, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
Sorry, Christy, I was just saying that, you know, you live that real world experience, the power of technology in the life of someone with a disability. What does technology bring to the life of people with disabilities and the world that it opens up to them?
Well, it just means that what I found is just that it's with mobile devices, it's just an extension of who we are these days. But people often need the education around how to make the most of what's already built into the technology and the systems, so that they can use it despite whatever barriers they may have around learning or their physical deficits. There's just ways to make it work. And so once people are aware of that, so it's raising that education and awareness that technology is for everyone, then we're all on the same page, doing the same benefits.
Thanks, Christy. Thanks for being here today and the work you do, and here to support Nathan and his contribution to that technological world that people with a disability are accessing more and more. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And
hey, Ian, just before we continue, I've got another announcement I nearly forgot about.
Do we need a drum roll?
Tonight, Disability Club is going to be aired on TV on the ABC news channel, 7 p.m. tonight. So stay tuned and hopefully you can all watch it.
That's great, mate. The ABC News ratings will go through the roof tonight with you on board. We'll all be tuning in at 7 o'clock to see Disability Club get a shout out in the news, and indeed many might have heard it this morning on the radio with Naz Campanella in the AM program on ABC Radio this morning. So looking forward to seeing you on the TV tonight. One last question from Steve Millett. Great to have you a part of our launch today, Steve. Welcome.
Yeah, thanks, Ian, and Nathan. Congratulations, mate. It's been wonderful to see your development and growth, and your enthusiasm. It can never be questioned on what you achieved. DME3, Disability Club, and of course, listening to Sam and looking at that all accessibility menu on Disability Club is an amazing implementation, and you've got to be commended for that one. So there's a lot more coming your way, and you've got a lot more supporters. I just wanted to reiterate, how can people help you grow your business? And that's get your gums flapping, share the link any way you can, put it on an email signature so it's there. The corporate link, talk to your businesses that want to support disabled or people with challenges. And I'm on there, and the more of that allows, the more corporate sponsors for jobs means there's more revenue to develop the platform even further and get more people on it. So the support we can give you, Nathan, is we just got to talk about you. You'll be, the star of the Bega Valley, and that'll be it. Bigger, brighter, better, Nathan's Bega Valley. And it is really good working with you, mate. You've got a lot of teachings and a lot of lessons you can give a lot of other people. So congratulations. It's fantastic, and look forward to some more development. Thanks, mate.
Thank you, Steve. Appreciate it.
Good on you, Steve. You're a great supporter of local business and local entrepreneurs. Thanks for your contribution today. We might wrap it up at that point. Any final words from you, Nathan?
I was going to say thank you to all my guest speakers for coming today. I appreciate it. And also thank you once again to all my sponsors. I look forward to reaching out to all of you soon to tell you what comes next. I'm so excited for the possibilities that have now been opened because of NBN Co. So once again, Luke and the team at NBN, I thank you very much for all the support you've given at Disability Club and DME3.
Thanks, mate. You've always got good words to say and share. Thank you for bringing us together today to share this launch, especially on the International Day of People with a Disability. And the 2021 theme of today's special day is fighting for the rights of people with a disability in a post-COVID era, celebrating the challenges, barriers and opportunities for people who live with a disability. And I think Disability Club is a powerful vehicle in that advocacy, that celebration and that connection. So congratulations to you and the team that have pulled this together. And now it's up to us, as you've said, and as Steve just touched on as well, for us to go out there and support your initiative and spread the word and support the growth. Thank you everyone for your time here today. Enjoy your summer holidays that aren't too far away now. And yeah, don't forget Nathan and Disability Club on ABC TV News tonight at 7 o'clock. Happy Friday.
Yeah.